Kia ora, welcome. My name's Jill, and this is Cup of Tea and a Yarn, YouTube channel that talks about crafty stuff, mostly to do with yarn. Knitting, crocheting, spinning, weaving. That's about it. It's the 4th of October, and I'm here in Tauranga in the Bay of Plenty of Aotearoa, New Zealand, and it's quite warm, which is quite good because I'm wearing one of my new tops. I'm Tea and a Yarn, which I am also found on Instagram and on Ravelry as Tea and a Yarn. So all of the projects I talk about I put on Ravelry, but if you don't do Ravelry, I also put them on my website, which I've got like a blog thing, which is cupofteaandyarn.com. Right, so feeling like I should have done this earlier today. It's getting on quite a lot, and so it's Sunday afternoon, and I normally go about lunchtime for these sorts of things. So this one and the one before I've done in weird times, and it's kind of unsettled me a little bit. I say got a bit warmer today, and I think it's like in the 20s or something, which is, you know, obviously summer's coming or spring's here. I much prefer winter. It means that I actually have to start, you know, thinking about not wearing tights. And I like wearing tights because that way it doesn't matter if your skirt's just on your knee. You don't have to worry about bending over so much. Or shaving your legs. Let's face it. Okay, so I'm going to carry on wearing my tights as long as I can. Which is where I was going with that. Rununculus. Sounded like a Harry Potter spell, doesn't it? So I started when I went down to the Kapiti Coast a couple of weeks ago. It is Rununculus by Midori Hiroshi. My second one. This one's done out of Holskan Coast, which is a wool cotton, about 50-50, held together with a touch merino lace. So this one, I'll stand up, is a bit different because it's not as boxy. So what I've done, I'll show you this, back flat, but it's kind of just sits. I made it a little bit longer than it was supposed to, so like there's my waistband there, so it's just a little bit longer. What I did was I missed out the last lot of increases, so there's another lot of raglan increases, so I just didn't do them, and then that brought that in. I did some other things like I used a smaller needle for the ribbing, both arms and around the body, although you can't really tell around the body. It's still just, I kind of wanted it to suck in a bit, but that could be the yarn. Yeah. I think I'm going to get a lot of wear out of it for the summer, although Andrew just saw me in it and he's like, I don't know about those round necks. And like, he thinks I need something on it underneath it so you don't see like skin. Doesn't like the lace. Tried to tell him it was girly thing, but no. I love the colour. I think it goes quite well with my new orangey colour hair, which was a bit of a mistake. It's supposed to be like a more reddy brown, a darker red and brown, but obviously I've got too much grey, and so it's just gone orange. We'll see what happens when it washes. Getting used to it. Yeah, so finished objects. I've got a couple of finished objects actually, and one of them I've forgotten. One moment, and we're back. Okay, my second finished object is my scarf. So this is a scarf based on Amber O'Brien's Scraptastic cowl, and I just did like 3 pattern repeats and just made it into a scarf. And I held it together with some orangey colour, some quite bright orange sock yarn and lots of minis. Now, if you quickly counted there, I did have 20 minis, right? So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and I got bored. So I just couldn't do it anymore. And if I had tried to make myself, I probably wouldn't ever have done it. So it's that long, which I think is quite a good length. Let's see. We go like this, for instance. That's quite a good length. I love all the colours. I think it's quite fantastic. You know, like there's different, so I go, ooh, and then, ooh, that's always my favourite bit, that one. But as I finished, like when I was doing the orange, I was thinking, oh, orange on orange, but I think that looks really quite funky too, especially next to like that multicoloured one and then the really dark one there. Yeah, so my Scraptastic scarf is complete. Haven't washed it yet. It'll probably grow a little bit, I imagine. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Done, hooray! My last finished object is my socks. Now, I do 2 at a time socks. I've only got one sock. You might be wondering why. So to show you what I did, I made up this little zigzagging pattern. And then the heel, and then like that. You may have noticed when I was putting my hand in and out just then that it was quite tight. I can't get these on my foot. So it's more stitches than I would normally have put in there. Like the ring is really stretchy, but the zigzag piece means it's really quite unforgiving. I can't even put them on. They're probably a bit long as well for me. So yeah, they now look like this. And so I just pop them on my little circular ones, and I'm just going to go round and round and round, and they can just be self-striping. I don't want to do anything else with it. So there's the other one. It's a shame, and I don't think that I know anybody that had really skinny feet that it would fit in. There's probably somebody somewhere, but no one that I know of that I could think of. It's a shame because I think it looks really groovy. You know, I think it's really quite fun. So obviously there is a neck to these kind of patterns, so maybe I actually have to bite the bullet and buy one rather than just make my own up if I want to do a zigzag. I do have some other self-striping, so I might try that on those. I couldn't remember what the yarn was last time, and thanks to Belinda, she reminded me. It's a West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. I haven't told you that I failed my Yorkshireness. I was telling my mum about it wasn't, maybe not this yarn, but another yarn that I said, oh look, and it comes from West Yorkshire. And she says, oh, where? I said, look, a place called Cayley. And she goes, Cayley? She said, I've never heard of it. I said, really? Yeah, I said, I've looked it up. It's not far from, you know, this Bronte country, which wasn't too far from like Leeds and Bradford kind of area, and then the Pennines. And she goes, how do you spell it? And I told her. She goes, Jill, that's Keithley. You don't say Cayley, it's Keithley. That's why I had never heard of it, because you were saying it wrong. So there we go. Failed my Yorkshireness. Those socks are also a fail too. And so they were a finished object, but now they're a work in progress again. So I thought that was quite a good interim, like, or a good, like, what's that word when you transitioned from finished to works in progress, because it was and now it's not. Right, so blah, 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 blah. I've got notes, so I remember to say what they are because I forgot the yarn last time. I have cast on a couple of things and I've got some other in progress things. So I'll talk about this because it was the first thing I casted on. So this is the Stockholm slipover, and I'm making it out of some of my hand spun. I got to this point probably, I don't know, by last weekend. Picked up the stitches for the arms and then I put it down because I think I hate it, but I don't know. Like I put it on and I can't tell. I don't actually think I suit tank tops, or is it the colours or is it the stripes? I can't decide. So I've decided that because it's my hand spun, but it's so soft and squishy and it's really warm. It's getting warmer. I'm not going to wear it anyway, so I think it might just get popped away for a while. And got the rest of my hand spun here because all it needs is the ribbing around each sleeve. I don't love it, but rather than you know, totally unravel it, I think I might just put it away for a little while and see how I feel about it in a few months. And the reason I'm not just unraveling it, because I'm usually quite good at just, oh, I don't like it, I'll unravel it, is because I really wanted to make this into a tank top. Is it a tank top, eh? Well, that's what we used to call them when I was growing up in the 70s. It's a tank top, and it's very 70s kind of colours too, and especially had some brown in there. It'd be really cool 70s. I really like how my hand spun is striped as well. I've got a little bit more of this. I could probably do, if I didn't like that, I could probably do little cap sleeves or something. Really easy pattern, very easy. It kind of went, I think I did the back first. And the back's a bit different. See, it's got like that big lump of orange in it. So the back went, then you did one side, then you did the other side, then you did the whole thing around and round and round and round and round. Yeah. So yes, I can't decide if it's the style or if it's the colours. So rather than, as I say, make any decisions, I'm just going to pop it away and let's think on it for a while. Because I can't decide if it's the coolest or the ugliest thing that I've ever made. You know how there's that fine line sometimes between ugly and cool and funky. I don't know which side this is on. So that's that. My other works in progress. Well, actually, I'll talk about that last because that's another transition piece. The other day, hard week at work, restructuring, all that sort of thing. So we found out on Friday about our jobs, which I'm lucky keeping mine again. Second restructuring in the last few months. But I needed something to make me smile because, you know, it doesn't matter how many times you go through kind of restructures and that sort of thing, they're always quite tense, aren't they? And you can't do anything about it, but you still can't help thinking about it and letting it play on your mind and blah, blah, blah. So I think it was on Thursday I decided I needed something to make me smile. So I cast on, this is the Zoolandia, which is a free pattern by Stephen West, and it's a one skein wonder pattern, and I'm using my hedgehog's hula hoop, which I got from the Yarn Queen a couple of yarn festivals ago. Very nice, easy pattern, but quite funky. So it's drop stitches. You can see some drop stitches. So it's a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 row pattern, I guess. Yeah, some drop stitches, and then there's like a slip stitch pattern where you slip one way and then you just go back the next way. So you only slip one way and then you purl the next row. A lot of purling. Every time you go backwards is purling. So I've been practicing my backwards knitting. So that's been good too. So I like to, I'm saying so a lot. I like to try new things when I'm making stuff. So again, I've done drop stitches before, and I've done slip stitches before, but not quite in this way. Kind of makes it look all woven. I don't know if you can see that. It's very funky. Cool. I decided to put my learning from James into action. So at Unwind, was it March, February, just this year, February, I went to a class with James to learn backwards knitting. And I'd kind of done it a little bit. I mean, I'm trying to do it with that Clara jersey, but I picked that up and did a row, I think, this last week, and then it went away again. I think I've got, yeah, I don't think I'm a cardigan person anymore. So I've been backwards knitting, which has been really fun. It was a bit hard yesterday in the car because I still need to concentrate a little, and like, yeah, it's always knit 3 and a yarn over to begin with, so I did that and then I turned it around, so it's not stopping me turning my work, it's just practice really. Yeah, so I can get used to the whole backwards knitting thing. It doesn't have very many more. I think I've got like maybe probably about another 2 or 3 repeats to do. It grows really wide quickly with the yarn overs because it's a 2 yarn over and you drop 2, but you keep knitting the one of the yarn overs, so you kind of double your stitches every time there's a drop stitch row. So it's going to be quite long and skinny, as I might be able to see already. Kind of, that's the middle. Yeah, I think someone was talking about, you know, over 400 stitches to picot bind off at the end. As you can see, I've only been doing it since Thursday. It's very easy and nice, and because the yarn is so fun, it's the shape of a smile as well because it's a crescent. So this is it's a smile. I think I've called my project Spring Smile or something like that. So, done that one. My most recent cast on is called the Birkel Unden Puff by Inga Semmingsen. I saw this top on the Zoolandia YouTube channel, so she had made it, and it's a very it's supposed to be a t-shirt. It's made from DK. It's probably supposed to be DK cotton, but I'm going to use my Wool Company DK that I bought. Mine's not going to be like a summer top, I don't think. It's going to be a bit more wintry, and it might end up with longer sleeves as well. I'll see how that goes. It just has, it's got a little rolled neck, and it has little like it's like they like two what do you call those leaves? There's a leaf here and a leaf here, just around the top, and then it's just straight after that. And it's got little puff sleeves in it. Kind of a little bit vintage looking, and so I really liked it. And when I saw it on the Zoolandia podcast, I decided to cast this on yesterday, since I didn't have a garment. And rather than do a summer one, since it's summer, I've done this one because it said it was a tea. It's DK Corridale, and I don't think it's going to be very t-shirty. It's not like this anyway. It's not nice and light and thin. I can already feel it's fat. I had some Nana Cindy pixie dust left from a hat I'd made for my nephew's ex-girlfriend, which is a merino. Very beautiful. Little spots of pinks and limes, greens in there. So that's what I'm doing the little leaves in. It said you needed 50 grams. I've only got 47. I think I'm going to be all right though, because I've already done one leaf and there's only another leaf. It's not like a whole heap of colour work. I've recently learned how to catch my floats without having to like let go and wrap it round. That's very exciting. This one doesn't have lots of really long floats. I think 7 was the biggest one. It's only been once. You can see that here. I love this colour. I love this little detail. I think it's going to be a very pretty top. Yeah. So yes, that's my wool company and my Nana Cindy pixie dust, and that is the Burkle London puff. So you can do it with puff sleeves, and they're just like little puff sleeves, or without puff sleeves. The choice is yours. Last work in progress is one I didn't talk about last time, and it is my Page of Wands cowl, which I've been really bad at. So I just dropped some stitches there, so let me break them up. Really bad at. The cowl's finished. No, it's not a cowl. It was a mystery cowl, an end cowl, a mystery knit along. Yeah, I think it finished a couple of weeks ago. I had started it with, and if you have watched previously, I discussed purple a lot when I talked about it. And I'd started with the purple and I like a beigey colour. And I really didn't like how it was turning out. The beigey taupe kind of yarn and the purple, they probably look lovely, but it's not something I would ever wear. Didn't feel colourful enough for me, and the taupey colour yarn was a merino, and it was a bit slippery to be doing colour work for. It wasn't working anyway. It probably was me that made it not work, but regardless, it wasn't working. So I decided I needed to order some Holst yarn. I ordered this colour. So the Holst yarn is a 4-ply, but it's kind of 3-ply thinness. Yeah, it's a very thin 4-ply. This is the super soft, which is 100% wool. And I got this gold crest to go with the purple. I thought that would go really, really well. In the meantime, however, last time I showed you my... was escaping. Last time I showed you my hand spun, which was my Corridale half of Die Happy's Cordell, and the other half was Stitch Punk sock, which was Cordell and nylon, and I'd spun them separately, then I'd plied them together because it was very, very similar colours. And this is how it had turned out. I love it. There was something like over 600 meters, which for me is like, that means that that was quite thinly spun, which is quite good. So I frogged my Page of Wands M cowl and started it again with my hand spun and the purple. And this is how it looks, and I love it. See what you think. So that's the first. Oh, I'm allowed to show it because the M cowl's finished now. So this was the first clue up to here, and I've just started on the second clue. But yeah, and I've kept the pink. So the pink is a coast. No, coast, sorry, I mean a super soft pink one, peony, which I've knitted my umbrella jersey in. That was what was left of it. I've got quite a lot left. I've got like, yeah, a few hundred meters. I had tried it with this stuff I had left over from this, but I didn't like that with the purple. It wasn't contrasty enough. I tried it with the burgundy red. It wasn't contrasty enough. So when I said I haven't really done much, it feels like I haven't done much on it, but I have done a lot of it because I've done it a few times and then frogged it. This though is what I've decided on. So every so often there'll be that bright pink, which is not really contrasty, but I think it's just enough to, you know, show a gap, I guess, as we go on. It'll depend if it's in an orange bit or a pinkier bit. And yeah, my Page of Wands cowl is, my Page of Wands cowl from an M cowl is growing nicely. I did this within a week. So this was my TV knitting. Yeah, it's not too bad. I think my floats are pretty good. There's probably, the yarns aren't the same weight, so it probably is a little bit, you can probably, like when you feel it, like run your hands over it, you can kind of feel where it's just my hand spun and it hasn't got the 3-ply with it. But here are my floats. I think they're looking quite good, quite tidy. And so I got to, when I got to here, was when I learned how to catch my yarn. So while still holding watercolour in each finger, how to catch this, like say, if this one was being floated for more, and 5's usually what I stop at, and if it's more than 5 I'll catch it, only because my tension's not good anyway and I don't want to make it even more there's a word that means not the same. That word. Anyway, don't even know that word. Oh gosh. As I was saying, 5 is my number. If it's more than 5 stitches floating, if it's more than 5, the chances of my tension going up and down is heightened. so yeah, if it's more than 5, I catch at number 3, for instance, or I catch halfway. So I tend to catch every 3rd or 4th stitch. Yeah, so, and I've worked out how to do it when I'm having 2 fingers without having to drop one and wrap it around, which is what I was doing, which has made it more fun and more enjoyable, and yeah, made it grow more. So that's my Page of Wands cowl. I very much like. I'm really happy at the moment with my Page of Wands cowl, should I say, my Zoolandia and my Birkenden puff for works in progress. I like them all. Yeah, I think that's important to like what you're knitting. If you don't like it, then like the orange thing. Kind of, it's not enjoyable, and it's supposed to be enjoyable. So as I said, that was a transition into the next bit, which was some purchases. I had ordered this, and normally, and I've only ordered from Holskan twice before, and both times it's arrived within a week. Obviously, things are not the same in the world at the moment, so it took 2 to 3 weeks. Hence, that's why I started with my other ones, because I wasn't actually sure if it was going to arrive. Don't know what I'm going to do with this now, but I think it'll make a good. Ooh. I'd quite like to make the Doctor Who scarf, you know, the original one that Tom Baker wore. Sorry. I wonder if there's that colour in here. I'm sure there's some goldy colour in there. Maybe that can be it. That's my next, as I'm acquiring stash, I'm looking for the colours of the Tom Baker scarf. That's how I was acquiring stash. I actually haven't bought a lot apart from what arrived from Holskan. It was coming all the way from Denmark. I couldn't let it come alone. So they had a bit of a sale on this stuff, which I've not had before, which is their Tides yarn. This is 70% wool, 30% silk. I got 4 of each of these. So there is 51, 200 grams, about 500 meters, over 1,000 meters. 2, 4, 5. There's 287 meters for each blob. I got 4 of each, so about 1,100 meters. Pistachio, and this one, it says it's called mole. Maybe it's called mole. Just kind of, but it hasn't got a little thing, so it's just mole, like the colour of a mole. I don't know. It's kind of browny. This is a good colour for. Let's see, it's building. The scarf is building. I probably had an idea of something when I bought it, and I can't remember what that was. I love the pistachio. Really into green at the moment. Greens and greens. And my spinning at the moment is a green as well. I don't know. I think wool and silk, and it's quite. It's kind of like. It's not really heathered, but it's not like perfectly the same colour all the way through. I suppose that's where the silk is. Can you see that? It's got like little bits in it. I think they'll make quite nice little summer tops, maybe. Since I should really be thinking about summery tops. I've got this one, I've got my pink one, another one. How many tops do you need? Who knows? Yeah, so that is all my purchases. So not a lot really. And that's it. I've been up and down with my knitting. I got in a funk because of the Stockholm slipover not working for me. I got bored with my scarf, so I finished that. And then, yeah, the other things though have made me smile, and I think smiling's important when you're making stuff. Don't you think? Yeah. I was thinking, and see what you think about this. what about, and I don't know, there's probably loads and loads and loads of knit-alongs you can do, but I thought we could do one for like a Kiwi summer one, like between November and February, where it's like either like a New Zealand designer and preferably some New Zealand yarn, maybe some New Zealand, what do you call them, indie dyers yarn as well as a mixture. I don't know. It's something that I'm kind of ruminating on. I've never done anything like that or hosted anything like that, so I'm really sure what would happen and what would need to do. But it's something I'm thinking about. I'll think on it some more in the next couple of weeks and let you know next time if I think that I might want to go ahead with it, and if you want to join me, you can. How does that sound? Yeah, cool. Otherwise, nothing much happening really. I'd say big news this week was I've kept my job, so that's like exciting. And my parents are moving to Matamata, aka Hobbiton, which is just over the hill, which is really cool because at the moment they're a couple of hours drive away, and then there'll just be like 35 minutes, which is much nicer. I have a trip to Auckland this week with work, up there on Wednesday and Thursday. Unfortunately not Monday for my my creative fibre group, so I can't catch up with them. But yeah, I started spinning. Oh, I haven't talked about my spinning, but that's right, I'm going to show you. But I did start spinning that stuff that I got that's a Cordell and mohair mix. I did probably about 30 grams and I couldn't breathe, so unfortunately, and I just loved the colours and it was so beautiful, but then my hair and I don't get along very well, so I'm gifting that to a friend who I'm sure will make something fabulous out of it. And I've started spinning the big mix stuff of random wool that I got at Fibertron a couple of months ago. Yeah, cool. Other than that, I'm gonna go because I don't know what else to say, really. I say it's a bit later in the day and I was feeling it's a bit not quite right. Somehow I feel like I've missed a lot of stuff, but I'll stop and I'll see you next time. Keep safe. Ka kite.